I am Chris Von Erich. Come on, Franklin. That's hot. Are you serious? If you walk around looking like that, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chris Von Erich. This is the Red Lens, and we welcome you in tonight. I know it's Friday night, so it's a little different for everybody. We're throwing everybody off, Franklin. Franklin, how are you this evening?
You know what? I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired, but I'm carrying on. I could not wait for this show. I'm been waiting for it all day today, and I can't wait for it to happen.
I know,
all right, man. And you, Chris? What about you?
I haven't shut up about it, but this is going to be great. And the reason why it's a different night is sometimes, as everybody knows, we have to accommodate some of these guests that have varying schedules, things like that. And of course, we wanted to do that tonight, and we are going to have a very, very special guest that will be with us very shortly. And it's going to be great. And he was available tonight at this particular time, so we like to do that. Let's get some of the basic stuff out of the way. Again, you can go to streamyard.com/Chris Von Erich. Streamlabs.com. StreamYard is what we're streaming on. Streamlabs.com is where you and the audience can go to get involved with the program, and we always appreciate that. You can follow us on Twitter at Von Erich. This way you get all the updates, all the quick little things we run out there, all the things that we want you to know. If there's any programming alerts, things like that, I might throw them up on Twitter. And a lot of you are over there watching us on Facebook, and we stream simultaneously on Facebook and also via YouTube. So you can watch us on either platform when it's live, because this is a live show. Once it's done, we pull that feed on Facebook, and then you have to go over to YouTube, and we want you to be on YouTube because we want you to subscribe to the channel and hit the alert button so that you don't miss any of the content we have, because things change a lot with us over here. We get different people in, we're doing different things. So we want to make sure that you guys do not miss out. So do that, get over there to do that. And I do believe that we do have our special guest here, so we're gonna bring him in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's special guest is the two-time World Series champ, the 13-year Major League Baseball veteran, Aubrey Huff. Welcome to the program, my man.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem at all. Well, yeah, I wanted to welcome you here, and just right at what part? I know you're in California, right? What part of California?
Yeah, I'm in about 20 minutes north of San Diego, Del Mar area.
Oh, okay.
I don't give out my exact location because I got a lot of fucking haters.
Yeah, no, I was going to say we'll get into that stuff real quick. But what I wanted to do is for the people that maybe they're living under a rock and they don't know baseball and they don't know you. You split some time between a few clubs in your career, right? You started with
I started off in 2001 with Tampa Bay. I was in Baltimore for 3 years. A cup of coffee with the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros, and then ended up my career in San Francisco. Oh,
wow. That's great. Now, tell me something. What was it like when you got the call that you were being brought up? Did they tell you right away? Did they say, we want to keep it hush-hush, don't tell people, or?
No, it was, I was actually in, you'll love this, Durham, North Carolina, for the Durham Bulls, and we had an off day at home. And if you know the name Ozzie Timmons, he's first base coach for the Rays now. me and him were like, he was my mentor. He had been in the big leagues and for some time there whenever we were teammates in Durham. And he was like, big guy, it's a day off. Let's go. It's about 11 o'clock. He came over to pick me up and we went to go get a case of beer. And we were going to go hang out at the pool all day and just chill. And as we are at the ATM to get money to go to get the beer, I got a call from my agent. And my agent said, "Hey, Huffy, what are you doing?" I'm like, about to get shit-faced here on a day off. What do you got? And he said, no, don't do that because you got a flight to Tampa. I'm like, oh, shit. So instantly, like, excited, scared, nervous, all at the same time. I told Ozzy, and he's like, "Oh, well, hey, we got at least cheers of beer." So we ended up cheersing like 6. And I think I got there the next morning early, and from the airport in the cab on the way to the Trop, it was a scary feeling. You live your whole life to get to that moment, and you desperately want to stay and do well because as a big league player, you don't know how many opportunities you'll get. You could be a top prospect. You may get one shot, 1 week. And if you don't produce, you're kind of fucked. So, it was a lot of pressure. Got there, and all the veteran guys and the management made me feel really comfortable. And I was lucky in the sense that Tampa Bay had a very small following, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people in the stands. I was playing in front of more in Durham.
Wow.
So, it was an easier transition. I didn't stick around long because Vinny Castillo was playing third base. I came up as a third baseman, and I came up because he was hurt. And when he came back up, I went back down. But when I came back up after he got his release, I stayed. So, it was one of those things where, you can never – there's only one other feeling that made me even more euphoric, I guess you would say, was winning the World Series. So
yeah. Well, I was going to say that, in terms of like the pinnacle of things that any ball player can do, this, winning it is it. What about what's like the second coolest experience you had in the majors outside of winning the World Series that maybe comes to mind? Was it a play?
I'm sorry, you broke a little bit right there. Besides the World Series, what was it? What was the question?
Was there another experience in the majors that really resonated with you that you were like, wow, this was great doing this? Maybe it was facing somebody.
Well, not really. For me, the game in between the lines, the actual game itself, I was always good at baseball, but it was interesting. I tell people this all the time. It wasn't my first love. My first love was basketball, but I was 6'4", I was white, and I couldn't jump, so I was fucked. So I decided to I went with baseball, and that turned out to be a pretty smart move. And I like baseball a lot, but I love the camaraderie more than anything. And I'm a Sagittarius, and we're known to be like the life of the party, very extroverted, and I just love being around the fellas. I am a diehard guy, and now that we're in this quarantine, I'm kind of losing a little bit, but that for me was the camaraderie, right? The guys, the first class flights, the flight attendants would bring you cases on cases of beer if you wanted, 5-star hotels. Yeah, man, it's just the lifestyle was pretty awesome, but it did pay its price in the fact that you never really feel like you can live in the normal life again because you've been so spoiled. So it's tough to transition.
Yeah, I was going to say that from getting everything catered and getting all your meals, whatever the hell you wanted, to now, when you're done, you got to fend for yourself, and you're like, oh shit, man,
Now what?
I got to shop.
Well, it was interesting, Chris. And it's Franklin, is it? Franklin?
It is. It is. Yep.
All right. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you too, bud.
So, it's interesting you brought that up. Now what, right? I tell an interesting story all the time. In 2010, we won the World Series in San Francisco. Sorry, I should have shut my door, but got all these helicopters and trains going by right now. So I win the World Series in 2010 with the Giants, and it's everything you ever wanted and dreamed of. And the next morning, I remember waking up next to my wife, and I looked her dead in the eye. Of course, I was hungover, obviously, so that didn't help. But I looked at her dead in the eye. I woke up, and I was like, now what? I was 33 years old, made all the money I ever wanted, won a World Series, 10 years in the big leagues at the time. never have to worry about anything. I've accomplished above and beyond what I ever wanted to in the game.
Mhm.
And yet I was so satisfied. So it was kind of weird that and I realized looking back at 33, when you accomplish a dream with so much life left, you have no other backup plan. And that's what's dangerous. Sometimes I tell people, you know, what's the key to getting the big leagues? And you hear a lot of people say, have a plan B. And I always say, fuck that bullshit. If you have a plan B, you have a way out. And it's an excuse.
Right.
So every guy I ever talked to that made the pros, they always had a plan A. They knew it and they had no plan B. But the bitch about that is you don't have a plan B when you get out of the game. So, you know, some guys are starting to figure out through a lot of talk and through the Major League Baseball Players Association, as you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it'd be best for you to start looking into something else, because I thought I was going to be able to ride off in the sunset, do absolutely nothing the rest of my life, but don't work that way. You got to keep yourself busy. You got to keep yourself motivated and in shape and all these things. That's just part of what being an athlete is.
Right. And we spoke before. I did have some of the audience just want to give you a quick question, and I'm going to just bring the person on now, and he can ask his question to you. I'll do that right now. Hey Matt, how are you?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, now Matt actually, you were a prospect, correct? You in terms of baseball?
Yeah, if you want to call it that. Yeah, I lasted a little while. I played 6 years in the minors.
Matt, if you're a prospect, you didn't make it. You know why? Because your name is Angela on the little screen here. It's tough to make in the big leagues if you got a girl's name.
They got
and
me.
I got a girl's name too. Aubrey, that's a girl's name. I made it.
I actually know an Aubrey. Red hair and freckles.
That's great. Aubrey, what year did you get drafted?
I got drafted in '98 out of University of Miami.
Oh, all right. Wow. And you were in the big leagues in 2 years after you got drafted?
Yeah, I get it's these guys get there fast now, but by those days, those standards were pretty quick. I went right to A-ball for half the season after I signed. Finished A-ball, high A in Charleston, really strong. Went right to Double-A the next year. Made the All-Star team in Double-A. The next year I went to Triple-A, made the All-Star team in Triple-A, and I was in the big leagues 2.5 years.
Wow.
And that was fast back then. But now, guys, shit, that's a long time. And you know, kids ask me all the time, you know, how long should I give this minor league thing? You know, in today's game, I think if you're not knocking on that door by year 3, you better be thinking of something else. And back when I was playing, if you're not knocking on the door within 4 or 5 years, you start thinking of something else. It's gotten younger. It's gotten more, they've gotten rid of a lot of veteran players, but it's a different game than it used to be.
I can't even watch it anymore with all the changes they're doing or they're thinking about doing. Now, if you're a left-handed pitcher, you can't do a pickoff. You have to step off the mound to throw the first.
Oh, is that right? I got to be honest with you guys. Since I've got out of the game, like I said, I was telling Chris this before the show, Matt. You might not have heard it, but I liked baseball a lot. It wasn't my first love, and so when I got out of it, I just didn't really watch it. Don't really care. A lot of guys go into media, broadcasting, calling games. I think I'd fucking end it if I had to do that. No way.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of guys do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Thanks for coming on, Matt.
You got it, brother.
All right, take it easy.
Enjoy the show.
Yep. Yeah,
I didn't really get a question. There wasn't really a question there.
Yeah, I know. But he actually coaches a lot of kids. He's got a big facility out here in New York, so he does a lot of things with the youth. So that's good. But moving on from baseball, you actually, as you segued, there was a point in time there with baseball where you were having a tough time with, whether when you got hurt, you had you were trying to get through the game, and then you ran into a tough time there for a while. And then you kind of segued out, and then you actually, I think it's great that you overcame all that stuff and you came out better on the other side of it. I really commend you on that.
Well, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it was, you know, a lot of guys, you know, come out of the game, whether it's NFL, pro sports in general, and find a very hard time transitioning. It's the identity, the purpose. You're, like I said earlier, doing the awesome 5-star restaurants. You don't have to wait through security at the airport. You're right on. You have your own row. I mean, you're treated like a rock star. And you know, you get out and you don't have. I mean, and it happens instantly. Instantly. It's not like it's a, you know, ease into it. You all of a sudden walking into restaurants, you're not paying for a damn thing for dinner in San Francisco, and then boom, you're living in San Diego, and everybody and their mother is a professional athlete. Nobody gives a fuck, right? So you have to really, for me, it took about 2 years of that transition where I was battling crippling anxiety during the day and, you know, suicidal depression at night. There was a particular instance for me when it was about 5 o'clock, probably in 2014, 2 years after I retired, where, you know, I got everything I ever wanted. You know, 2 World Series rings. You know, I made $60 million in the bank. Living in a 10,000 square foot gated community home, pool, hot wife, awesome kids, the whole deal. And not to say that I'm bragging, I'm just trying to set up a story here. And I'm cutting vegetables for dinner. My wife was, at the time, was cooking, and my kids are playing Legos, watching cartoons in the living room. It's perfect. And I just started feeling my heart beating once again. I'm like, fuck, man. You know, the daily panic attack was coming. It was about 5 o'clock. And I said, hey, hon, I got to go. She goes, panic attack? I'm like, yep. And she just, you know, she's been used to it. She was a trooper during the time, but it was really wearing on her. Ran into the closet and, you know, wearing at the time, I remember a white beater, and I had the look I have now, goatee, shaved head, the quarantine look. And I had tattoos on my arms, the whole deal. And I remember looking in a full-length mirror at myself. I looked like the baddest motherfucker on the planet, but deep down, I was just terrified and purposeless and had nothing, I felt like, even though I had everything around me. And I just couldn't take it no more. I was tired of the panic, and I have the utmost sympathy for people that struggle with mental health, because it sucks. I wouldn't want to wish it on my worst enemy. And I remember just, I couldn't take it no more. I got into my safe in my closet, hit the code, hit my knees, looking in that mirror at myself, and I had the gun to my head, and I pulled the hammer back. All I had to do was pull the trigger. And it took me back all of a sudden like a flash. And I'm a Christian guy. I'd lost my way for a while there in the big leagues. I think, you know, you buy into the lie, and at the time I felt like God wasn't close to me, but for whatever reason, in that moment, I was looking at myself, gun in the head, hammer back, and I had this vision of my dad. My dad had got murdered when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
He got shot in the back of the head by trying to break up a domestic dispute. And he just so happened to get murdered by a .357 Magnum. The gun I had in my head was a .357 Magnum.
Wow.
He got shot in the head. I was about to shoot myself in the head. It was like a fucking wow.
Yeah.
It just kind of jarred me, right? Put the gun down, and I had it out for an hour in that closet with God. I mean, I'm talking like a junior high kid yelling at his dad because he got grounded. I mean, I'm fucking yelling, screaming, pissed off, basically throwing a tantrum. My ex came in and was like, what's going on? I'm like, don't you worry, I'm getting right with God. You know? And so I came out of that, and I felt like a weight was lifted. I felt like I needed something to unleash a lot of like anger and frustration. I never really dealt with the death of my father. The transition was tough, and it came out a lot more calmer. And I made a decision in that moment, in that closet, to be a little bit more spiritually aware, to start taking better care of myself, start eating better foods, not drink as much, and start working out more and getting more into my faith. And it didn't happen overnight, but little by little, over the course of 6 or 7 months, I started really turning a corner. And then, boom, started really talking about these things, the mental health issues. That was the big key. The minute I started talking about these things, and it wasn't easy at first. When I started talking about these things at first, it's, as guys, you have that weakness about you. You don't want to show any weakness, so you have to put this guard up. And I had the biggest guard up. And when I would go speak to people, even kids at school, I would like freak out because I didn't want to let anybody in. And the more and more I did that, the more and more I healed. And now I have no problem whatsoever talking about it, because I get so many people messaging me about my story and how much it helps them. So if it's helping people, then it's worth it.
Well, now you got people on the other end messaging you about things that you're saying and you're doing in terms of your point of view. and they can't handle it. So
I'm sorry, buddy. I got up ahead of the beeping sound over there. I had to take off. Are you still there?
yeah,
Yep, we're still here.
your camera's frozen though for some reason. Oh, there you go. So what I was saying is now that you're at the point where you're at, now you have to defend yourself from all these people online who don't like the fact that you have a different opinion, that you're bringing up. Oh,
there he goes.
hey,
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll call back in. He'll call back in. Chris, what a story!
that was an amazing story.
Wow, that's
I didn't know that about him, but yeah, I think he's. We were speaking of Wi-Fi before, so there you go.
yeah. Well, like I said, there's that that bandwidth everybody's using it on either side of him. There's probably somebody's Facebooking or checking or whatever the heck it is, and that's probably taken away from his bandwidth, sadly.
Yeah, because it's all shared, right?
Yeah.
Let's do some of these comments quick. Bull Rush, we're spoiling you. Yes, we are. We're trying
do
that.
the best we can.
He's saying hello. Marty's in the house. It's a plower pass, Marty.
I like Marty's thinking.
There's an annoying click when I talk. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but Chris, I don't know if it's coming from you though. I don't hear it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be coming from the get. Who knows?
Ben is liking the show. Wally is in awe. So yeah, and we're just we're waiting for Aubrey to come back here.
Overall, Chris, it seems that the reaction to the show is positive, which
yes,
which is natural. I mean, what do you expect? It's a great show.
So
and I was going to ask him though when the first question that you had asked him, how did it feel when you first got the call? Goes, we had a bunch of beer and things like that. And he got the call. Says, no, you're going to you're getting on the plane. My question was like, all right, well, what happened to the beer? Like, but then he said that him and his buddies had a celebratory and then off he went.
Yeah.
But that was actually very that story that he told about him in the closet. That was pretty heartfelt, actually. And I'm glad he came out of it. And faith has a lot to do with it. I'm not overly, I'm not an overly. I don't really have much of a faith, to tell the truth. And but it's good that some people can develop a faith, and that will bring you or carry you through, rough times.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I was going to tell him that I'm no stranger to dealing with anxiety and whatnot, and
understood.
And also hey, just like him, I'm not afraid to say it. So. But hey, we all have to deal with stuff, right?
You'd be surprised how many people have anxiety that really don't speak about it. One question I did want to ask, well, when he said that he was sitting on the couch and his heart was beep, 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 he was his heart was beating like that, and I guess that's how an anxiety attack happens. Correct? Yeah. You're just doing one thing, all of a sudden your heart goes, your heart rate goes up and your pulse plummet.
Yeah, that's
interesting to know. Looks like one of the listeners said that the clicking was coming. When you run the there we go. Run the see, me too. I'm sort of agnostic as well.
Yeah, he's one of yours.
Right. No, actually, I don't think an atheist is the same. According to me, I don't think an agnostic is the same thing as an atheist. Atheist to me is somebody who is dead set against religion, God, Jesus, the whole bit does not exist. There's no room for any kind of question. An agnostic is somebody like me who's on the fence, basically. We're not sure, but it's not something that I'm going to jump in with both feet. So, Mr. Bullrush, you and I are probably in the same pew. How's that? We're in the same church pew. How's that? We're both agnostic, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, being black and being somebody who doesn't believe in God, that's almost as bad as being the devil himself or herself, whatever. Okay, being in a black family. What do you mean you don't believe? What do you mean you don't believe in God? You're black. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
But I've had aunts and uncles try to spritz water on me, watch my skin split, the whole bit. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, people embarrass you at dinner time. You know, it's awful. But it's just the way I am. But Mr. Red Crusader, what's up, my man? Thanks for joining us tonight. Very good to have you. Actually, it's very good to have all of our listeners tonight. Let's see, what do we got here for a rundown of, holy cow. Oh, we got our regulars, Peter, Jason, Mr. Bullrush, and Mr. Man Boot. Oh, boy, I'm going to destroy that one. Let's call him Man. There's Marty, Ben's in the house, Wally. Wow, we got a lot of people here. Glad to hear it. Glad y'all made time to join us tonight. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you guys made some time to join us.
Yes,
had
absolutely.
a good show tonight.
What do you say? My concubine. Yeah, that's right.
He always comes up with a good one.
Okay, Ben and Bullrush are having a faith talk here in the chat.
Okay, okay, like I said, I was wrong, so that's actually good to know. A higher power. All right. Well, then maybe I have to rethink myself because I've been calling myself an agnostic all these years. So, like I said, that's what I thought. So I thought it was a half and half type of thing, and I appreciate our listeners. What am I trying to say? I appreciate my listeners, or our listeners, I should say, correcting me.
So we're just waiting on Aubrey to reconnect, and like I said, with all the bandwidth out there being used, all over the place, it does press on the internet.
Mm-hmm. So. All right. Well, like I said, I have to do a little bit of research then, because all these years I always called myself an agnostic, but it would appear that I have to rethink that or do some more research and find out what I can call myself, because again, I'm in the middle. I'm on the fence with this. You know, I'm not a diehard atheist. And, and I'm not. Who knows? By the end of the show, I might be. But Chris, what'd you do today, man? Tell me what you did today. How's everybody at home? Everything's good.
Let me just see one thing. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. All right. I will be here. Well, what we're going to do is now, since this is now the Franklin show, I'm going to mention the Grondike Tactical Soap Company. It's actually something I forgot to do earlier. I'm going to mention the Grondike Tactical Soap Company, and go to tacticalsoap.com. Going to get yourself a nice bar of soap. Feel better, clean better, feel like a man. And once you make your purchase, be sure to use the checkout code Von Eric, and you'll get yourself a nice discount at checkout. And I use this stuff. It smells very, very good. I like it a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm actually due for another bar of this stuff. But like I said, Tactical Soap Company. It's tacticalsoap.com. Excuse me. And there we go. So where are we here? Oh, am I the only one left? All right. Well, let's see. I'll take care of that. Okay, going to look at some of the comments we have here. Concubine is anxiety. That's priceless. But okay. Never really thought about it much, to be honest with you. Somebody told me that I was agnostic. Yeah, you know what? That's exactly what my situation was. I was told I was an agnostic, and that's pretty much what I went with. But I'm not 100% sure. Again, I'm going to have to do some research, and what I'll do is I'll report back to my my listening audience, to our listening audience. Let's see. What do we got here? Is that any better? Ooh, okay. Hopefully that's better. But all right. But actually, this whole week I've been plagued with nothing but technical difficulties, and I hate that because it throws the show off and it throws everything off. Hey, Chris is back.
I am back, ladies and gentlemen.
Not the Franklin show anymore. It's the Chris Von Erich show now.
Yes.
well.
But yeah, I've been trying to work with Aubrey. Again, I did try to resend him the link to join in. The
Probably had it the
invite
first
link.
time, right?
So yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's StreamYard having a problem. Might be. But we will see if he can get in here again.
I'm thinking bandwidth because I did hear the cracklies and things like that.
Yeah,
I'm thinking it's a bandwidth issue. I don't think it's a StreamYard issue, but
yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, and it is what it is. So, you know what? We'll hope that he reconnects here. And in the interim, let's get to some of these texts here that we're getting. Red Crusader, Dias are the ones that use science and reason. Okay. Okay. If I knew what Aubrey was saying about his experience was going to bring us down a road of, fire and brimstone here.
Hell no.
I would have said no.
Fire and brimstone. Well, nothing wrong with changing it up.
Yeah, that's true.
But he was that story actually that touched me though. The story of or the tale of the story of him in the closet. Yeah. I can't stop thinking about that. That's pretty powerful stuff. And how he was able to bring himself out of that.
I have to say that, it says something about him to share something like that publicly, and that's, that's a big character thing, to be able to do something like that. So I give him a lot of credit for that. To Frank Bullrush saying, when you were taking over there for a second, it was like doing some recreational drugs.
Was it like was it a bad trip? Like what was it? Wavy gravy? Bad trip? Right. Stay away from the brown acid. Oh, he's back. Okay. So, there he is. Oh,
hey,
wow, back. There he is.
Yes, that's perfect.
Shit, I've been using my computer in the first place. I was downstairs and fuck, you never know.
Okay. You're back.
So I basically was at the point where I was going to segue into your life after sports here, which we know you have the off the cuff program. It's the podcast, which is phenomenal. I think everybody should go there and check that out.
Actually, I have not. That was the old podcast that I was doing with my best buddy. It was the same name of the podcast, but we did it about a year and a half ago, and we're rebranding it right now. We're about 2 weeks away from relaunch, so it's going to start back up in a couple of weeks. It's Aubrey Huff Off the Cuff, or Off the Cuff with Aubrey Huff.
There you go. There you go. That's great. Now, the one thing that you're dealing with is that there's a lot of people out there that don't think you should have your own opinion, don't think you should be raising your kids the way you want to.
Oh.
And just, it's at the point right now where on Twitter, you can't even say anything because somebody's coming after you.
Well, the beautiful thing about me, though, is I don't really give a fuck. I
couldn't tell.
Yeah. So, listen, I've gone through, I think when you play professional sports, you have this, you have a mind that's just pretty much indestructible. And you go through a lot of things like I've gone through the anxiety, depression. I feel like now I'm pretty much unkillable, as far as mentally goes. And, I live by this creed. It's, one day I'm going to be dead. So who gives a shit? It's a really freeing feeling to feel that way. And I'm teaching that to my boys to not really care what a lot of people think. Obviously, have a strong faith in God, love your family, have a very strong circle of friends, because I think that's what's getting lost in translation in this world nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks this shit with all these social media followers are your friends. They're not.
They're not.
I have 5 good friends right now in my life that if I call right now, I'm going to war with them. That's it. That's really it. And I've played with thousands of different teammates. Now I still communicate with these guys, but if I had to go to war with some of these guys, probably wouldn't be there. I'm not going to go fly to a wedding if I don't want to. And there's quite a few guys that I still keep in touch with over the years. by and large, most professional athletes, they have a group of 25 guys on a baseball team. You're going to only be really good friends with about 5 or 6 of them, right? You have your little clique, and through San Francisco, I had Pat Burrell, Brian Wilson, those guys. I still keep in touch with those guys. Buster and Bumgarner, those guys were their own little crew, and they were younger, and you stick into that little clique that you're comfortable with. And I'll take that back. I wouldn't say I wouldn't go for more than 5 guys. I'd go to battle with a lot of guys, but you lose a lot of contact with guys over the years. As years go by, families, kids, people's thoughts and opinions change. And it seems more and more as you live, the more and more these memories seem to fade.
Sure.
But yeah, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. And I think people don't realize that, they see you, they look at you, they think that, oh, well, he's a ball player. He's gotten he's gotten all the breaks. He's gotten everything handed to him.
Oh, horse shit.
Yeah.
I can't stand this fucking bullshit where, it's the white privilege bullshit and you grew up with silver spoon and all this bullshit. Listen, man, at the end of the day, I grew up in a trailer park when my dad died with my mom. She was raising my sister and I in a trailer park, but it was a double wide. It was a very nice one. But I didn't have a dad growing up. We were poor as shit. I was eating Spam and bologna and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day. I had every reason in the world, every excuse to make. So basically, as a white poor dude growing up in Texas, that's my hood. That was the hood for me, and I didn't make any excuses for myself. And my mom worked her fucking ass off, and she's my biggest hero. She got not a funny story, a great inspirational story for you guys. After my dad had died, my mom was grinding, trying to get her teacher's degree, working at Winn-Dixie as a meat market manager, doing some substitute teaching on the side. And about a year after my father died, I'd gotten to watching baseball at the Rangers back in Texas, where I grew up, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. My grandma and grandpa were always around, and they loved the Rangers, and they turned me on to watching the game. That's kind of how I fell in love with it. My grandma and grandpa let me stay up late watching the Rangers. And I took to it. My mom started seeing that, playing Little League. And then one day she came home after work one day. Hey, honey, surprise. 3 tickets, to a Texas Rangers baseball game.
All right.
It was a 45-minute drive. She took me. I was 7 years old at the time. My sister was 4. Went to a Texas Ranger game, and I had this little plaque of a Texas Rangers logo that I painted. It was very raw and rough. Took it right down during BP, down by the Texas Rangers dugout, holding it up and yelling at guys. And Jeff Houston was a shortstop for the Rangers at the time. Just so happened to be my grandma's favorite player. He walks up to me and goes, "Hey, son, you draw that and paint that?" I'm like, "Yes, I did, Mr. Houston." Or Mr. Houston, he goes, "Hey, let me sign that for you." He signs it.
What?
And then he calls over 12 more other guys from batting practice. Well, basically the whole team comes over, signs this huge plaque. I still have it. It's upstairs. But
that's great.
And I walked away that game. I don't even know who won the fucking game, to be honest with you. I'm leaving the game with my mom, and I told her in the car, I said, "Mom, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be a Major League Baseball player." And guys, I knew like I knew that's what I wanted to be, just like that in one night. And I said, if you buy me a batting cage and a pitching machine, I'm going to hit 200 balls a day until I get to college, and I'm going to get to the big leagues, and I'm going to buy you a house and car one day. And she's like, "Well, honey, that's sweet. I just can't afford that." I'm like, okay. For 2 years, I begged her. She saw how much I love baseball. I was staying up late watching SportsCenter, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, Christmas calls around 9 years old. My grandma, my grandpa, and mom, and we're all around the Christmas tree. I have no presents. I'm not opening up anything. And I'm starting to cry. My grandpa gets up and goes, "Get your ass up, you pussy." And I'm like, "Oh," he's a big Texas strong guy, and puts a blindfold around my eyes, walks me outside with my mom, open it up. They had built a batting cage in my backyard overnight with neighbors. And there was a Jugs pitching machine right there with a 20-ball baseball feeder. I was crying. It went from tears of sadness for no presents to tears of joy. Hugged my mom right there, instantly grabbed my bat and went to go hit 200 baseballs. And I did that every day to the day I graduated. Didn't really party in high school. Long story short, got to the big leagues, got my first big league contract. Once I got my first 3-year, $20 million deal, that offseason, I picked my mom up for a surprise Mom Sunday for her birthday. And we went out, and I said, I pulled in with her into my car, and we went to a Dodge Ram dealership. I said, choose, mama, because she loved trucks. And she started crying. She got herself a truck and, signed the papers, and she was crying as the guy exchanged the keys. We're leaving. I said, we're not done. Follow me. And she follows me into this little beach house that I purchased prior, about a month and a half prior, that I bought her little 2-story townhouse on the beach in St. Pete. The lady is standing by the for sale sign with the keys. She almost rear ends me driving in the driveway. Walks up to the lady, gives her the keys. She's crying. I'm crying. The lady handing the keys over, the real estate lady's crying. It was like Niagara Falls. So I tell that story all the time. And she's my biggest hero, biggest support system. And if it wasn't for that woman and her dedication, there's no fucking way I am where I am today.
Yeah. And what, I mean, but I also want to say that just from the stories that you're sharing, you strike me as such a determined guy, an individual, that when you set your mind to doing something, come hell or high water, you're going to do it. And that's just that story is an illustration of that. So
yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing and a curse at times, because I'm one of those guys that, I think a lot of people, the reason they're not successful is they have so many different things that they think they want to do, and they dabble in this, they dabble in that, but they don't really fucking love it, right? And they don't really dedicate themselves to this one thing. And I think you can be serviceable at many different things in life, but you can only be great in one. I really believe God gives you one great gift, and I think He gives it to you at a young age. You either ignore it or you fucking have the balls to go, the wherewithal to continue on and push for it. And for me, it was baseball.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I love basketball, but baseball just seemed to me, I don't know, I just had so much more talent in baseball, and I could tell. And the better I got, the more I loved it. And it became an addiction. And I think that's what's missing from so many people's lives is they don't love their work. And I understand having to pay the bills and shit like that, but at some point you're going to give up your happiness for a fucking 9-to-5 job you don't like. I'd rather end up back, for me, in a double wide trailer, broke as shit, than to live that way.
Yeah.
I lived that way before. I'll live like that way again. So that's the way I look at life.
Yeah. Well, you are a man of many talents, and I did do a little ode to you with your stick figure.
Oh, what does it say? I can't see really.
This is just a little, me,
okay.
with Mike there, me welcome you onto the show. But
my shit's way better than yours. Way better than yours.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know you were such an artist, Chris.
Hold on a second, boys. Let me show you.
Yeah, let's see that.
I didn't know you were such an artist, Chris. That's actually pretty good.
Just made these today. It's a little comic strip that I did. I posted on Twitter. The Adventures of Larry the Liberal. He's taking a picture of his hot girlfriend, and she just basically uses him for IG photos.
There you go.
Right. And then at the end, there's like 5 more. And then at the very end, from the IG photos Larry took, conservative Carl's banging her. that conservative Carl snuck into her DMs on Instagram, and she found him attractive.
That is great.
Pictures that liberal Larry was taking of his girlfriend backfired. I'm an idiot.
Backdoor. That's good. Yeah. Carl, conservative. Well done.
Well, I guess in closing, I'll say that the one thing that really bothered me with people getting on you was when the Giants kind of unceremoniously said, you know what, you don't have to show up for the anniversary, and we'll see now the joke's on them with the fact that
ain't nobody fucking showing up right now.
Yeah. But I thought that was kind of very petty of an organization to do that, given the fact that, and you said, you've said this before, and I actually remember actually watching that game. That you don't win that game without your home run. So
there was a game 3 in Atlanta where we were down 2-1 to the Braves. We could have been down 1-2 in the series against the Braves in the division series, and they brought in a lefty in the bottom of the ninth inning, and we were 2 outs, runner at second, and remember the lefty's name was Dunn, and I reached out and hit a 2-strike slider in the right field, scored the run, tied the game. The next guy, I think it was Buster, hits a ground ball to second baseman. Brooks Conrad, error. Freddie Sanchez scores. We go up 3-2. We don't win that game without all that shit that happened. And then obviously Game 4 in the World Series. I got to be honest with you guys. We had a big reunion for Bruce Bochy's big going away party last year, and I got to see all those guys anyway. All the fans got the ovation, so I had my little tip of the hat.
Right.
And I always tell people this: I would rather speak my mind and not sell up my beliefs and values than to go out there and fucking for a little quick tip hat.
Grandstand.
Grant, I don't give a shit, honestly. Is it disappointing in the fact that I won't see my teammates? But I'm still going to go when they have that reunion.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to go party with them after we're done.
Yeah,
and I don't need to have all the grandstanding and bullshit. And a lot of the guys, people are criticizing me on Twitter. Where's all your teammates sticking up for you? Well, the ones currently can't say anything because they're been cold on you. A lot of the old ones like Burl and Wilson and all those guys, they were like, "What the fuck were you thinking?" I'm like, "What do you mean what I was thinking? Just because I have political opinions?" And like, "Would you want us to not go?" I'm like, "No, man, this is my fight. You guys don't have to not go. Matter of fact, no, I don't want this. This is not your fight. Let me deal with this shit." So I just find it ironic. I get the call from Larry Baer, the CEO of the Giants, and he says that I'm not invited because my Twitter account. I'm like, it's because I post a lot about President Trump, isn't it? And he said, well, that's part of it. And I'm like, no, it's because of President Trump. He goes, well, it's a big part of it. Basically saying it was. And what I find hypocritical about the whole thing is Larry Baer, a year prior to that, was caught on camera throwing his wife down because she stole his phone and he was hiding something in his phone, threw his wife down. That was on video. And he had to take a 6-month suspension from the Giants, issue a formal apology. I said words on Twitter. He pushed his wife down. Fuck off.
You said words.
Yeah. Come on. It's absolutely hypocritical at its finest.
Be ashamed of himself.
And again, things like that to me are extremely petty, and they're just looking for an excuse. So, I mean, hey, you're the better guy for it, and that's how it is. So, but Aubrey, I want to say thank you so much. I know you got a ton of stuff you got to do over there. I don't want to keep you from.
Not really.
Just go with it. You're busy.
Yeah, I'm about to start drinking, so yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't have my kids. It's 7:00. I'm gonna have a cocktail and watch some documentaries.
There you go.
There you go.
But
it's been a pleasure being on the show.
Yeah, man. Great. Please come back again.
You got it. Good night, fellas.
Right. Have a good night.
Bye.
I like him.
Yeah, he was he was tremendous, and he's just a real guy.
Seems like he's just like a very real, honest,
down to earth
guy. Yeah,
down to earth, real guy, and tremendous. And again, his link there, aubreyhuff.com /podcast. It's off the cuff. That's if you just do a search, ladies and gentlemen, you can get to his live feed. Like he said, he's rebranding the show a little bit, doing a little upkeep on the website. So probably by next week, it'll be all done and redone. So definitely check that out. I've listened to a bunch of his episodes. They're definitely colorful and whatnot. But
what was that colored? What was that?
Colorful.
Oh, I see. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yes, no, I wouldn't overtly say that to your face.
Oh, I just want to make sure overtly. All right, there we go. Hey, it's funny. I thought you said he was from Texas at 6'4". Gee, I'm surprised he didn't play football. I thought everybody from Texas played football, whether you liked it or not.
Right. But but again, just to summarize, I thought he was such a real guy.
Oh yeah.
Sharing the, a lot of the baseball stuff. That's great. You can't get anything better than that.
The story about his mom and buying her the truck and the townhouse, whatever it was, that actually tugged at the old Franklin heartstrings. Let me tell you. You know what? There are a lot of people that have gone through that and who have made good on promises like that. And that's good. Again, a real down to earth guy type of a thing, and that's good.
Yeah. Let's just catch up on some of these.
Got plenty of them.
On Eric Franklin, if you had one person to be in a foxhole with, who would it be? Yeesh.
I'd like to be in a foxhole with Chris, actually, Mr. Chris Devon Eric.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll take Franklin with me.
Yeah, then why not? Or I could be in a foxhole with my father, so I could fucking shoot him because I never met the cocksucker.
Oh my god!
Sorry.
That's how you really feel, Franklin.
Yeah.
Bull Rush says there's nothing wrong with the spamwich. That's true.
In England, that's still a very popular dish, spam. Me, I'll have no part of it, but being the Aubrey Franklin that I am.
Bull Rush is still pissed that Nolan Ryan went to the Rangers. I remember that. So yes,
a lot of good comments. There's a whole bunch of them here.
Yeah, again, we missed a lot of them.
Marty had a pretty good one. Said at least you didn't get her a Bentley to park in a third world like the NFL Suns do.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Tell him he's telling the truth too, ain't he? That's true talk right there.
Yeah. I was gonna talk to him about the situation with baseball now, but he kind of said that he doesn't even really kind of pay attention to.
Yeah, I got that. I wanted to.
That happens sometimes. I always look at it as like an either or.
Really?
Either baseball guys, they do it, they love it, like Aubrey did. He loves it, and love has that passion. But once they're done, they're done. They want to go and, hey, he did it for 13 years plus whatever he was doing in the minors. So
yeah, that's true. But I felt that for some reason I always thought that was kind of interesting when he said that. I wanted to ask him about that too. I just thought that when you do that for so long, you sort of it's in you whether you like it or not. It's but I guess once you get out, you hang up the cleats and that's the end of it, and you go on to something else. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Ben says no ladies here. Well, no, Ben, I have to disagree with you there. This show is for the masses. So while we do talk about relationships and we paint the fairer sex in a little bit of a fun light and whatnot, I do not discriminate for women watching the show.
Of course not.
So, everybody is welcome to watch this show. You may not like what we're talking about, but you can definitely watch it. And Jahan says, stay safe, guys, and keep up the good work. We will. We hope you do. But Franklin, that was, that was very interesting.
I enjoyed that, actually.
I didn't get a chance to share that picture of him because, again, with the interviews, you got to kind of take them the way they go. But
right.
But
I mean, it's structured. It's a structured interview, but you know what? Sometimes they'll curve, they'll turn left, they'll turn right. You got to go with it. That's understood.
Yes, absolutely. I did want to actually share one thing that I thought was kind of funny. You mentioned this the other night.
I understand, Ben. We know. I was just commenting on Ben. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to interrupt. Oh, here we go again with the small print. What was that?
Wait, hold on.
Dude, I'm old. I can't see that.
I know. I'm sorry. I forgot that about the whole situation there. But you
they're building a handicap ramp up there. What's that?
You mentioned this the other day.
Oh yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There is a surge in divorces anticipated in the wake of this quarantine we're in.
Well, you know what?
A wave of divorce filings is expected to break across the country once the confinement ends, according to a bunch of divorce attorneys.
Chris, can you send me that link? Because,
absolutely.
like my buddy Scott Yancey, I see opportunity. I see opportunity. What I see,
way out.
Yes, what I see is a bunch of hopefully good-looking women that want a second chance at life. And that's what old Franklin's for.
They said when the restrictions are lifted, there's no doubt there will be an overwhelming number of filings, said a New York divorce attorney, Marcy Katz. And in Chicago, Robert Siegel expects a deluge of divorces. Well, there you go.
And a rise in order of protections.
Yeah. They cite a tension, in a tension of forced proximity between the two people, so they basically can't get away from each other.
Yeah,
That's why they want to get the hell out of there.
I know. I mean, Chris. Okay, my friend in Germany. I should probably get her on because she likes to talk about this sort of thing. She was telling me exactly about what that story was. I came at her with, I figured there's going to be a lot more kids running around, you know, a lot more people because there's nothing to do. You're stuck with each other. What are you going to do? You're going to make babies. You know, it's when we have a bad snowstorm. What do people do? After you're done shoveling snow, you go make babies. And she goes, no, I don't see it that way. I think there's going to be a lot more divorces because people are stuck with each other and they're not really made to want to stay with each other for that longer time. Forced to stay with people for that longer time. And you know what? I think she was right. I think she was right. And that article sort of kind of proves it.
Yeah. So, but okay.
That's actually pretty interesting.
All right. So again, it's getting to be the witching hour here for us. I want to say thank you to everybody out there that came and watched this special Friday episode that we had.
Friday edition.
Franklin, I asked you to pull double duty 2 times this week. So I thank you for making yourself available.
Got to make the show what it is.
Absolutely. And one more time, I want to thank Mr. Aubrey Huff for stopping by and being so gracious to give us his time there. It was a blast. And hopefully down the line, we can reach out to him again and talk about some other crazy stuff. But again, follow us on Twitter @Von Erich. The Facebook page is facebook.com/Chris Von Erich. The SoundCloud website is soundcloud.com/Chris Von Erich. That is for select audio episodes. This definitely will be put up there as one of them. And that is about it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, The Rational Male. Go there and get that book. A tremendous book, tremendous read.
The Bible.
Yes. Okay. So, as usual, I want to thank everybody out there. Have a wonderful night. Good night, and God bless.